Section 31. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't worry, Auntie, I will take good care of Lu Qingchen in the academy. Xia Lan seemed very happy after hearing Lu Yan's words, but in Lu Qingchen's ears, the meaning of the words was wrong. What does good care mean? Early the next morning, Lu Qingchen was woken up by his mother Xia Lan. After having a simple breakfast, the three of them went directly to the Golden Eagle Hotel, the largest hotel in Qingchen. The Golden Eagle Hotel in Qingchen is located in the eastern section of Jinling Road, the most prosperous area in Qingchen, with a unique geographical location. As soon as Lu Qingchen arrived at this hotel, he was attracted by the strong, luxurious and noble atmosphere. The hotel design uses golden yellow as the main color, exuding a noble atmosphere like an ancient emperor. The name of the hotel was decorated with gold foil, which made Lu Qingchen sigh that it was indeed the top hotel in Qingchen. As soon as I walked through the door, a row of beautifully dressed young ladies shouted in unison, "Welcome!" Lu Qingchen was startled by such a big battle. Then he looked at the beautiful young ladies. Unexpectedly, he was patted on the head by his father just as he looked at them. "Where are you looking? What's there to see?" Although he said this, his gaze was not wasted at all. If his mother hadn't been here, my father would have been even more unscrupulous. Lu Qingchen secretly cursed. Then I came to the hall and saw a red couplet hanging with several big characters on it. Congratulations to Lu Changting's son Lu Qingchen for ranking first in the National Martial Arts Examination. Lu Qingchen had only been sitting in the hall for a few minutes when he saw his best friend Yushan coming in a big way. However, he didn't see his parents, so he looked at Yushan curiously. "My old man is in the back, chatting with Uncle Lu," Yushan explained to Lu Qingchen while picking up the pastries on the table. Soon, many people came one after another. The school leaders and the head teacher De Huang came first. He also brought the entire class of grade 3 and grade 7 with him, and the hotel lobby became lively in an instant. Since Lu Yan came alone, Lu Qingchen arranged Hong Bing, Su Muting and others to sit at Lu Yan's table. Then the students in the class were divided into two big tables, and the head teacher De Huang and the school leaders were at one table. It is worth mentioning that the district chiefs who govern the entire Jinling are also here. Lu Qingchen is a little surprised how they know that his family is hosting a college entrance banquet. "Congratulations, Mr. Lu. Lu Qingchen's ranking first in the country really makes our Jinling city famous. Please don't mind if Chen Peng comes uninvited." When Lu Changting heard that the district chiefs with jurisdiction over the entire Jinling had arrived, he quickly invited Chen Peng into the hotel and seated him at the school leaders' table. In fact, the district chief was hired after the school leaders reported the news. As for the reason, of course it was because Lu Qingchen was the top one in the martial arts examination. As the district chief, he was naturally a soul warrior. It is very clear how brilliant he will be in the future after entering the three prestigious schools, not to mention ranking first in the National Martial Arts Examination. The future is even more unpredictable. At this moment, many of Lu Qingchen's classmates in Class 7 realized after seeing this scene that Lu Qingchen was no longer on the same level as them. For a moment, everyone felt complicated. At this moment, Lu Changting picked up his wine glass and said loudly, "Thank you for your respect for my son Lu Qingchen. Lu Changting would like to propose a toast to you all. May everyone present be like a real dragon and soar through the 9 heavens. Everyone. I won't go home until I'm drunk." Chapter 36. It's time to say goodbye. Everyone. I won't go home until I'm drunk. As soon as the words fell, the whole place instantly became lively. Lu Changting even took out the fine wine he had collected for countless years, and a strong aroma of wine hit his nostrils. Lu Qingchen felt refreshed after just a slight sniff. The school leaders present and Chen Peng, the district chief of Jinling, have been hanging out in the wine shop all year round, and they smelled the strong aroma of wine at this moment. I couldn't help but exclaim loudly, "Good wine." Lu Changting was at the same table as Yushan's parents and several people whom Lu Qingchen didn't know. At this moment, I saw him opening the wine bottle, and everyone filled it up one after another, raising their glasses and drinking. As for the toast, of course I leave it directly to Lu Qingchen. Lu Qingchen first toasted his father, and then went around the table to toast everyone. While toasting, they said what they liked to hear. I saw a burly man raising his glass and saying, "Xiaochen, that's very good. If you have any troubles in the academy from now on, tell me and your Uncle Lei will definitely help you sort it out. Thank you so much, Uncle Lei. I think Uncle Lei's name must be famous in China, that Lu Qingchen praised. These words made the burly middle-aged man who called himself Uncle Lei glow and smile. He patted Lu Qingchen on the shoulder and said loudly. That's right. Brother Lu, Xiaochen will definitely be more promising than you in the future. Of course. My son will definitely achieve better than me in the future. It is better to be better than someone who is better than someone who is better than me. Lu Chongting responded with a smile. Then Lu Qingchen went around the table of school leaders to toast one by one. After a round of drinking, all the leaders were in high spirits and beaming. Chen Peng even laughed and said, "Good boy, Jinling is proud of you. If you have troubles in Jinling from now on, Uncle Chen will help you settle it." That Lu Qingchen's eyes lit up and he nodded repeatedly. "Uncle Chen, let me toast you again." That after toasting several tables of wine in a row, Lu Qingchen, who was originally sober, gradually became a little excited. When they came to Lu Yan's table, several people started drinking with each other. In less than half an hour, Hong Bing and Zhang Ying had already fallen down. Only Lu Yan, Yishan and Lu Qingchen were left at the table to play drinking games. Su Man and Su Muting drank a little less, but they were also half drunk and half awake at this moment. After 3 rounds of drinking, at this moment, only Lu Chongting's table and Lu Qingchen's table were still drinking, and the rest were already drunk. Yushan was drunk a few minutes ago and now fell to the ground. Only Lu Yan was left to drink with Lu Qingchen with a sweet smile. Lu Qingchen maintained the last bit of sobriety, and gulped down the glass of wine in front of him, and fell asleep on the table. In a daze, the soul power in his body was boiling, and he felt that the energy in his body was about to overflow. I don't know how long it took. Lu Qingchen woke up in the warm big bed at home. He opened the curtains and saw that it was already dark outside. He walked out of the room and found that there was no one at home. His parents were not at home at this time. There was a letter and a ring on the table, as well as a prepared dinner. Lu Qingchen took the letter from the table. There was no mark on the envelope. Opening the envelope, Lu Qingchen silently read the contents. Xiaochen. When you see this letter, your mother and I have already left. Don't worry about us. We are going to do something we should have done before. I used to think you were not keen on martial arts, but I was wrong after all. We delayed you at the beginning. Later, your growth was beyond my expectations. One day, the mirror was broken, and the small fortune pill you took out not only restored my body, but also broke the mirror with your mother. But what made me make this decision was because of another thing. From the second level of the tempering realm to the world's #1 now, I believe this feeling will change you a lot. This world has never lacked geniuses, but what it lacks is people who can suppress an era. The young eagle wants to soar in the sky, and the adult must be able to do it. To be the true king above the clouds, you must rely on your own wings. And what we are going to do now will be of great significance to your future. Don't worry about us. Go to Tiandao Holy Academy and practice well. No need to look for us. When you break through the realm of the king, you will naturally know our news. One day we will meet again. I believe that day will not be far away. The ring on the table is a storage ring. You can only recognize the master after dripping blood. There are some resources in it that you need for this realm. You need to fight for the resources in the future. I believe that when we meet again in the future, my son will be famous all over the world. That Lu Chongting did not leave the date. Lu Qingchen knew that it was a letter written by his father when he was drunk today. As for why he was drunk, of course, the wine Lu Chongting took out today was not an ordinary wine. Carefully folded it and put it into the system space, and picked up the storage ring on the table. Drop blood to recognize the master. After a while, Lu Qingchen explored it. There were soul stones like a small mountain, and many bottles and jars, all of which were labeled, body tempering pill, little soul pill, red heart soul breaking pill. It seems that my parents really have good intentions, Lu Qingchen murmured as he looked at these cultivation resources, but my parents have left after all, and I don't know when I will see them again. Section 32. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Qingchen was not very clear about what the king realm was. he also had no idea what his parents needed to do. This made Lu Qingchen, who was the top of the national martial arts exam, feel so powerless for the first time. So what if he was the top of the national martial arts exam? Just like his father said, there is no shortage of geniuses in the world. I don't know how many geniuses died before they grew up. Lu Qingchen, who was still in the awakening realm, suddenly became a little irritated. In the past, when I was in a bad mood, I would be alone on the rooftop, quietly blowing the evening breeze, so I came to the rooftop and looked at the place where I used to live under the rooftop, thinking of the words left by his father before he left. Lu Qingchen couldn't help but want to roar to the sky. An unknown heart fire seemed to be burning. After awakening the Golden Emperor Dragon Martial Soul, he gradually acquired some dragon characteristics. Before, Lu Qingchen's state of mind had always been calm due to the suppression of the Jade God of Fortune Heart Sutra, but now it has been calm for too long. Since the awakening of the Martial Soul, there has never been a hearty battle. At this moment, Lu Qingchen's eyes have gradually turned into a dazzling red-gold color, the skin on his back was torn, and the bones full of power and beauty opened, and the bloody golden dragon wings stretched out for the first time. Unlike the red wings condensed by soul power for the first time, this pair of bloody golden dragon wings were not condensed by soul power. Lu Qingchen looked at the boundless night on the rooftop with a calm expression. A gust of wind swept, the golden dragon wings opened, Lu Qingchen soared into the sky, and instantly disappeared under the thick night. In a room near the rooftop, Lu Yen held a small bottle in her hand, silently watching Lu Qingchen spreading his dragon wings and soaring into the sky, with a very complicated heart. How many secrets does he have? Chapter 37 Departure. Go to Tiandao Holy Academy. The next morning, Lu Qingchen had withdrawn from the state of cultivation. Calculating the time, it was about 1 or 2 hours before he would go to Tiandao Holy Academy. With a thought, he opened the information panel. Host, Lu Qingchen, Martial Soul, Sun Golden Crow, Golden Emperor Dragon, Creation Jade Lotus, Realm, Awakening Realm 3rd level, Spiritual Power, Bright Moon 2nd level, 32, Kung Fu, Burning Heaven Sacred Scripture, Emperor Dragon Immortal Body. Creation Jade Pure Heart Sutra, Magic Power, Unopened, Fire, Dragon, Items, Donghuang Bell, Small Creation Pill *2, Burning Heaven God Seed, Soul Seed, Refining Star Cauldron, Soul Stone *100. It seems that I have improved a small realm last night, and my spiritual power has also improved a little. I heard from my senior sister that the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy is divided into the Heavenly Academy and the Holy Academy. The Holy Academy mainly cultivates the soul, that is, spiritual power. I don't know what level my spiritual power is at. Lu Qingchen thought a lot in his mind for a while. After leaving the room and eating some breakfast casually, Lu Qingchen went directly to Yushan's house. The two homes are very close. Lu Qingchen came to the door of Yushan's house and knocked on the door. It was Yushan who opened the door, but Yushan obviously didn't get enough rest last night, with 2 dark circles under his eyes. After entering the door, Lu Qingchen found that there was no one else in Yushan's house, and couldn't help asking. Yushan, where are uncle and aunt, are they out? Yushan was not in a very good mood, and it can be seen that at this moment he whispered. Brother Chen, I don't know where my parents went. They only left me a letter, saying that they went to do something. They also told me that if I practiced hard and reached the king realm, I would know these things. After saying that, he looked up at Lu Qingchen, who was also surprised at this moment. I didn't expect that my father and uncle you left at the same time. Yushan and I are really brothers in distress, so he patted Yushan's shoulder and said earnestly. Don't be too sad, my parents also left last night, and also left a letter. I think uncle you should have left with my parents. Really? Then it's okay. That when Yushan heard that Lu Qingchen was treated exactly the same as him, his attitude immediately reversed. Lu Qingchen rolled his eyes. Okay, go to Tiandao Saint Academy and work hard to become a king. When we become stronger, we will know everything. Yushan nodded and hurried to the room to pack up. After a while, the two left home and went to school. It might be the first time to touch the storage ring. Yushan swayed left and right in front of Lu Qingchen. This ring is really magical. I didn't expect such a small ring can hold so many things. Lu Qingchen smiled helplessly. I guess there will be more magical things when we get to the academy. No wonder Lu Yen said she would start a new life. The two walked very fast and arrived at the school gate in less than 10 minutes. At this time, there were already many people standing at the school gate, and many students from Class 7 had already arrived. They all came to see off Lu Qingchen and others. The difference is that Su Man and Su Muting brought a lot of things, big and small. In comparison, Lu Qingchen and Yushan had nothing. Hong Bing stared with his eyes wide open, and asked curiously, "You two are going to Wuhan University without any luggage?" Seeing Hong Bing asking this, Yushan and Lu Qingchen smiled at him innocently. Lu Yen rolled her eyes at the two of them, and the ring in her hand flashed, and Su Muting and Su Man's luggage disappeared. The students in Class 7 had never seen such a magical situation, so they all stared at Lu Yen curiously. Lu Yen said with some amusement, "This is a storage ring. There is space inside. You can exchange it after you go to the academy." Hong Bing scratched his head, thinking that there was such a magical thing. At this time, Su Man asked softly, "Teacher Lu Yen, how do we go to the academy? Are we waiting for the bus to take us there?" Lu Yen shook her head and did not explain. Instead, she took out a sachet-like thing from her waist. "No way." At this moment, Lu Qingchen seemed to remember something and couldn't help talking to himself. In an instant, a ray of light emerged. The next moment, a huge bird suddenly appeared in front of everyone. "This is the fire spirit bird, and it is also my contracted soul beast. In the future, when you become stronger or successfully pass the inner courtyard assessment, the academy will give you a mount." After that, he motioned Lu Qingchen and others to go up. Where have everyone seen such a big soul beast? For a moment, they were all stunned. Only Lu Qingchen pushed hard against the ground, and the next moment he stood on the back of the fire spirit bird. Seeing this, several people also jumped onto the fire spirit bird. This fire spirit bird is very big, and it can sit nearly 10 people on its back. At this moment, there are only 5 people, so it is not very crowded. Lu Yan's soul power surged, and then the fiery red soul power turned into a ball of light and flew towards Su Muting and Su Man. He also said to Lu Qingchen and Yushan, "You must sit tight later. Remember to use soul power to protect your body." The fire spirit bird flies faster. Hong Bing and Zhang Ying shouted below, "You guys, you must practice well. I will follow you in the future." At this time, the students of Class 7 and De Huang waved, and during this period, the fire spirit bird had flapped its wings and slowly lifted off. Seeing everyone waving goodbye to him and others, Lu Qingchen also responded to the students below. "See you later." At this moment, Su Man and Su Muting's eyes were a little red. After all, it was the first time to leave their families and classmates, and leave the city where they had lived for more than 10 years. Lu Yen also noticed their state at this moment, but did not say anything. She just sat cross-legged on the back of the fire spirit bird, closed her eyes and practiced silently. A gust of wind blew, almost blowing Lu Qingchen and Yushan down. The two did not have Lu Yan's soul power to protect them like Su Muting and Su Man. At this moment, Lu Qingchen's soul power surged, turning into a red ball of light that enveloped his body. Yushan was surrounded by a bright yellow light. The wind whistled past, and Lu Qingchen did not know how fast the fire spirit bird was, and when it could reach the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy. Section 33. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I saw him closing his eyes at this moment, and the Jade God Lotus Heart Sutra was running. He calmed down and started practicing silently like Lu Yen. The same was true for Yushan when he saw this. Only Su Man and Su Muting looked at Lu Yen for a while, then at Lu Qingchen and Yushan, feeling a little confused. How did they practice? In fact, this cannot be blamed on the two of them. Lu Qingchen himself has the burning sky scripture. Yushan has accompanying skills when the martial spirit awakens. This is the advantage of the top martial spirit. Those who have not awakened their martial soul can only wait until they enter the academy to choose their own suitable skills to practice. Lu Qingchen had entered a meditative state at this moment, and his mind was clear. The past life and experiences gradually began to be buried in my heart. Hey! Tiandao Holy Court, here I come. Chapter 38 Arrival. Freshmen report that I don't know how long it took, but Lu Qingchen felt that the wind speed around him was gradually decreasing, so he opened his eyes and stepped back from the superficial state of cultivation. Only the fire spirit bird was seen flying downward slowly, and finally landed on the ground. Lu Qingchen had known about Tiandao Holy Court before. Tiandao Holy Academy is located in the center of the Demon City, and there is only one martial arts university in the entire Demon City. It can be said that the entire Magic City's economy supports China's extremely famous Tiandao Holy Academy, but Tiandao Holy Court has given Demon City enough protection. As long as it is within the area of Demon City, safety is absolutely guaranteed. Moreover, many people come here because of its reputation, which brings a very high flow of people and economic consumption to the Magic City. As one of the 3 famous schools, Tiandao Holy Academy is the best in every aspect. The entire college covers an area of more than 10 square kilometers. What is this concept? It is equivalent to the area of hundreds of standard football fields. This is only the outer courtyard of Tiandao Holy Academy. As for the inner courtyard, no one except Tiandao Holy Academy itself knows where the inner courtyard of the school is. This also adds a layer of mystery to Tiandao Holy Courtyard. When several people got off the back of the fire spirit bird, except for Lu Yan, everyone else's eyes were full of shock. In his previous life, Lu Qingchen had seen countless schools, and he had also visited famous universities across the country. Whether it was junior high school, or university, he didn't know how many schools he had seen, including Qingchen No. 1 middle school where he was in this life, but this was the first time he had seen a school like Tiandao Holy Academy. The gate alone was nearly 100 meters high and nearly dozens of meters wide. Looking up, I saw 4 vigorous and handsome characters carved on the top of the gate like stone chisels. Tiandao Holy Courtyard. Except for these 4 vigorous and simple 4 characters, there is nothing else in the whole gate, which is completely integrated. This gate shocked Lu Qingchen and others for several minutes. Yushan's eyes widened as he looked at the 4 large characters dozens of meters away from him. Those 4 characters were even bigger than him. I saw Lu Yan chuckle at this moment. Are you shocked now? You will be even more shocked in the future. Let's go, I'll take you to report first. Then the bag on her waist flashed with light, and the huge fire bird turned into a stream of light and got into the bag on Lu Yan's waist. At this time, Lu Yan led everyone to the registration office and said to everyone, "You guys will report here soon, and he will arrange everything later. I won't accompany you as I have something else to do. Let me tell you that all the students from the outer courtyard are practicing here. In addition to the inner courtyard students and senior instructors, only the freshmen who achieved the top 10 in the freshman trial can go to the inner courtyard." Lu Qingchen listened to Lu Yan's words carefully and saw Lu Yan smiling charmingly at Lu Qingchen. I would like to remind you that as long as the upper class does not bully the lower class in the outer courtyard, conflicts are normal. If someone doesn't have eyesight, remember to beat him up. As he spoke, he waved his pink fist. Everyone saw Lu Yan take a few steps forward, the light in her hand flashed, and she disappeared. This series of actions had already dumbfounded several people, and they were shocked several times on the first day they arrived at Tiandao Holy Monastery. Lu Qingchen shook his head, calmed down, and began to think about what Lu Yan said before. The students of the outer courtyard all practice here, and only senior instructors and inner courtyard students can go to the inner courtyard, and only those who get in the top 10 in the freshman trial can go to the inner courtyard. Lu Qingchen understood the key point in an instant. Why did he need to be among the top 10 in the freshman trial to go to the inner courtyard? There is only one answer, and that is the cultivation environment and resources. After understanding the relationship, Lu Qingchen took Yushan and others to the registration office. There was only one boy at the registration desk, who looked about 2 or 3 years older than Lu Qingchen and others. The boy was sitting on a chair at the registration desk, with his legs on the table in front of him, eating melon seeds. Seeing someone coming, he stood up quickly, his eyes lit up and he smiled. "Are you freshmen from Tiandao Holy Academy? Are you here to report?" That this boy was relatively handsome, but not thin. Lu Qingchen could feel the huge strength contained in his considerate body. "Yes, we were brought by instructor Lu Yan to report to Tiandao Holy Court." Yushan was very smart and could tell that Lu Yan was probably quite famous in school, so it would be a little easier to mention her name. "Oh, Senior Lu Yan, it's very good, you register first and I will tell you about the academy later." Lu Qingchen and the 4 of them quickly completed the registration. You are the top of the National Martial Arts exam. Lei Xian looked at the name on the registration form and blurted out. Lu Qingchen nodded politely and said a little embarrassedly. Keep a low profile, I got the first place by luck. Lei Xian looked at Lu Qingchen as if he was looking at gold, his eyes shining. Lu Qingchen asked and found out that this handsome boy was named Lei Xian, a senior student in the third year of the external school. I don't know if it was because Lu Qingchen was the top of the National Martial Arts exam. Lei Xian was very enthusiastic at the moment, seeing that no one came to the college at the moment. Lei Xian smiled and said to a few people. Now there are few people, I will take you around first. Lu Qingchen and the others nodded. It was true that they were not familiar with the college when they first came. It was really good to have an enthusiastic senior to take them to familiarize themselves with the environment. Look, the teaching building is in front of us. There are 4 buildings in total where we usually have classes. Lei Xian pointed to the 4 somewhat quaint buildings in front of him and said with a smile. The 4 buildings are for the 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th grades. The courses are very simple, but each has its own tutor. What needs attention is the color. The white floor is for the 1st grade of the external courtyard, the yellow floor is for the 2nd grade, and the purple and red floors correspond to the 3rd and 4th grades. But the school uniforms are all white, and the difference is the Tiandao Academy badge on the uniforms. At this time, Lei Xian pointed to the golden badge on the uniforms, and Lu Qingchen took a look. It was found that the badge was composed of 3 weapons and a dragon. The color of this school badge represents your grade, and it is divided into 4 colors, white, yellow, purple, and red. At this moment, Su Man found that Lei Xian's school badge was not purple, so she asked curiously. Senior Lei Xian, why is the color of your school badge not purple but gold? Hearing this, Lei Xian suddenly became excited, showing an intoxicated expression and said. I've been waiting for you to ask this question. It's like this, the golden school badge represents the core students in the outer courtyard, that is, the genius among all the students in the outer courtyard. Chapter 39 Privileges of Core Students. Hearing Lei Xian say this, Lu Qingchen couldn't help but ask with some doubt. In this case, wouldn't it be impossible to distinguish which grade the core students are in? Lei Xian smiled mysteriously and motioned Lu Qingchen to take a closer look at his school badge. Lu Qingchen looked closely and saw a purple mark in the golden school badge. This design is really clever, and the material of the school uniform of Tiandao Xinyuan is excellent. The appearance is many times better than the school uniform of the junior high school in his previous life. When Lu Qingchen thought of his previous school uniform, he got goosebumps. It was so embarrassing. Thinking of this, Lu Qingchen couldn't help but admire. The school uniform design of the academy is really clever, and the material is excellent. Hearing this, Yushan and the other 2 girls were also a little curious, so they asked. How do you tell which grade the core students are in? Look at the small mark in this school emblem. Lei Xian explained patiently, pointing to the purple mark and said. Section 34. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The mark is what color it is in which grade. Although he said this, he could not hide the pride in his eyes. The core students of the 3 prestigious colleges and universities are indeed something to be proud of. After explaining everyone's problems, Lei Xian continued to take them around. As they walked, another building with the same color appeared in front of them, and Lu Qingchen and others looked at Lei Xian again. Lei Xian talked eloquently. This is the dormitory building. The places where students from the outer courtyard live are also divided by color. Seeing everyone nodding, Lei Xian's tone suddenly changed and he said solemnly. The dormitory is for 2 people per room. The space is quite large and the equipment is very complete. But what I want to tell you is. Several people suddenly looked at him seriously, and then Lei Xian nodded with satisfaction. The core students of each grade have special residences. Only by living there can we have a truly good cultivation environment. As soon as he finished speaking, he led Lu Qingchen and others towards the dormitory building, obviously wanting to take these freshmen to see the world. Lu Qingchen and others quickly followed. As they walked, they arrived at a villa area. Lei Xian stopped, cleared his throat and said. This is where the core students live. also called the core area. When several people walked to the villa area, they thought these places were the residences of the college's tutors and leaders, because this is not a dormitory at all, or even the community where Qingchen usually lives. These are simply exquisite high-end villas. The villas are all standard 3-story lofts. The entire villa is white and dotted with many golden patterns. He didn't know if it was actually decorated with gold foil. Behind the villa is a medium-sized artificial lake with many boats and wooden piles. Just standing not far from the villa, Qingchen and others felt that the soul power in their bodies was obviously speeding up. Lei Xian saw everyone's reaction and said with a smile, "Do you feel that your soul power is accelerating?" Several people nodded quickly. I saw him smile mysteriously. This is because there is a small spiritual vein under these 40 villas, which can increase the concentration of spiritual power between heaven and earth and speed up the cultivation speed of soul warriors. Several people were dumbfounded, surprised by the wealth of Tiandao Holy Academy. Lei Xian was very satisfied with the shock of Qingchen and others, and proudly pointed to one of the villas. "See, that's where I live." At this time, Su Man asked with some confusion, "Isn't it said that cultivation is very hard? Why do I feel that this environment is much better than our own home? You must know that compared to ordinary people, soul warriors are extremely rich, and this little money is nothing. Besides, cultivation is inherently boring, and if you don't even have a good place to live, you'll really go crazy." Lei Xian looked at Qingchen and Yushan with some deep meaning. Besides, even if there are 1,000 students in a grade, only 10 can enter the villa area to practice. That is only 1 in 100, not to mention who can enter the Tiandao Holy Courtyard is not a genius that is unique in a million. Ignoring everyone's mood at the moment, Lei Xian then took Qingchen and others to get familiar with the martial arts field, playground, and canteen. The canteens are very unique. One of the canteens is particularly huge, with 4 floors. Each floor can accommodate thousands of people. The other canteen seemed very small, but the decoration was extremely luxurious. Knowing that everyone had questions to ask, Lei Xian took the lead and said, "The food in this big canteen is the same as usual, but this small canteen is different. Many of the meals there are ingredients that can enhance physical fitness and enhance soul power, and of course the prices are extremely high." I saw Lei Xian spreading his hands, looking dumbfounded. However, course students only need 1/10 of the price to eat here, while the rest of the students do not have this benefit. At this time, Qingchen and others completely understood. In Tiandao Holy Academy, the core students are the best no matter what and can enjoy the best accommodation, cultivation environment and the most abundant resources. Several people secretly made up their minds to strive to become the core students of the outer academy. After taking the freshmen around, Lei Xian said to everyone, "Do you still have any questions? If so, just ask them directly. I will report them later." Qingchen had a trace of doubt in his heart at this time and asked, "Senior, we just walked around the college. Except for some people in the dormitory area, how come we didn't see anyone in the villa area?" That's right. Although there are only 40 core students, Qingchen's mental power can already detect the area of 100 meters, but unexpectedly, I found that there was no one in the villa area. Lei Xian was a little surprised by Qingchen's words, but he still patiently explained. They went to another place, a place in the outer courtyard that only core disciples can go to. You will naturally know after you become core students. Qingchen nodded. He almost understood where those core students were going, because Lu Yan also left instantly just now. Seeing that Lei Xian was in a hurry to go back, Qingchen hurriedly said, "Senior, last question. Where should we live now?" Lei Xian himself almost forgot where they had settled, so he pointed to the villa in the middle. "See the white word on that villa?" Before taking part in the freshman trial, everyone moved in according to the ranking of the National Martial Arts Exam. Since you are the top of the National Martial Arts Exam, you are directly in the core area. As soon as he finished speaking, he hurried to his workstation. Qingchen actually had many doubts, such as why the core students were not practicing, but welcoming the new students at the registration office. This kind of thing should also be done by ordinary students, but this question was not asked. And many things will be known in 3 days. So he took Yushan and a few others to where they would stay tonight, the core area. Chapter 40 Provocation, Building Number 1, Grade 1, Core Area. Lu Qingchen and others came to the door, and a bunch of keys were hung on the door. Since it was the day for the new students to enter the school, the freshmen of the previous class should have been promoted to the second grade. As for those who did not rise to the second grade, they should have been eliminated. After pushing the door open and going in, several people were stunned by the spacious living room. Lu Qingchen and others ran from downstairs to upstairs and observed it back and forth. Oh my god, this is where the core students usually practice. In addition to only one bedroom, there is a living room, a study, a practice room, a bathroom, and even a kitchen. This is to enjoy life. Everyone shouted in their hearts. However, the practice room is very small and can only accommodate 2 people. But you can feel the extremely rich spiritual energy of heaven and earth in it. Lu Qingchen just entered and felt that his martial soul was madly absorbing the spiritual energy in the practice room. The pores all over his body opened, and Lu Qingchen had never felt so comfortable. Moreover, all kinds of infrastructure and daily necessities in the whole villa are brand new. Except for some clothes that need to be carried, everything else is ready. After shopping, Yushan and Lu Qingchen returned to the living room. The two sat on the soft sofa and looked at each other. Su Man and Su Muting began to pack their luggage. I saw Lu Qingchen and Yushan looking at each other, with excited smiles in their eyes. Yushan said to Lu Qingchen excitedly, "Brother Chen, I suddenly don't want to go home. I want to live here forever. It's so comfortable." Lu Qingchen also nodded. The little bit of sadness he had just left home was washed away by the environment of Tiandao Holy Academy, but he still said to Yushan seriously, "If you want to live in the core area or a better place, you must take the freshman trial seriously." Yushan nodded solemnly, and asked curiously, "Brother Chen, where is the better place? Do you know where teacher Lu Yen went? If I'm not mistaken, they should be in another space, which may be the real place of Tiandao Holy Academy." Lu Qingchen's intuition is so sharp that his guess is almost right. The two chatted like this, and didn't care about anything else. They came directly to the practice room. The practice room is not large. There are 2 cushions on the ground. The two sat cross-legged and started practicing. This practice lasted for several hours until someone knocked on the door outside the practice room. "Yushan, Lu Qingchen, it's almost evening, let's go eat together." Su Muting's voice came from outside the practice room. The two finished their practice and walked out of the practice room. Su Muting and Su Man were both standing outside the door. Lu Qingchen sniffed and smelled a fragrance. It should be the scent of shampoo. It seems that the two had just finished taking a shower upstairs. Section 35. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Qingchen thought secretly in his heart. Su Muting saw Lu Qingchen sniffing the air and felt her face was a little hot, but she still said to the two of them, "You two are really working hard to practice so hard on your first day here. I don't want to either. If there are many talented people in the freshman trial, I don't want to be kicked out of the core area." Lu Qingchen spread his hands to express his helplessness. Hearing this, the eyes of the two women dimmed slightly, and Su Man said softly, "You must be fine, you all have top talents, but we are afraid." At this moment, Yushan was full of confidence, waved his hand and said, "It's okay, as long as Brother Chen is here, we will have a villa to live in as long as Brother Chen passes the exam." Lu Qingchen's mouth twitched as he glanced at Yushan, thinking to himself, "I'm not even sure you're pretending." Without continuing this topic, Lu Qingchen asked, "By the way, where are you going to eat?" The two women shook their heads and said they didn't know. Su Man took out 2 apples and handed them to Lu Qingchen and Yushan respectively, leaving the core area, still walking in the academy. At this time, the sky had darkened, and Lu Qingchen found that there were many students coming in and out of the academy at this moment. He saw many people going to the relatively large canteen. Everyone walked quickly, and many people even came out with packed lunch boxes in their hands. Yushan was probably a little hungry at this moment, so he said to everyone, "How about we go to the cafeteria first?" Su Man and Su Muting nodded. "First go to the registration office to see if Senior Lei Xian is still there. If he is, you can invite him to have a meal with you." Lu Qingchen suggested that after all, the senior was very enthusiastic about answering everyone's questions today, and he was also a core student. I and others were new here, and they were not very familiar with the various rules of the school. It should be much better if you have someone you know. Su Man and the others all nodded. They should really call Senior Lei Xian together, so a few people went around in a circle and came to the registration area. As expected, Lei Xian was lying on a chair and eating melon seeds. It seems that not many people came to register today. Lei Xian was a little surprised to see them coming again. Lu Qingchen stepped forward and said, Senior Lei Xian, it's lunch time, how about we go have a meal together? Lei Xian's eyes lit up. He was indeed quite poor, otherwise he wouldn't be working part-time in the reporting office. These students are really good. When Lu Qingchen and others went to dinner and even invited him, Lei Xian secretly admired them in his heart, so he got up and left the registration area, closing the door. Just as he closed the door, an arrogant voice came. Don't the people of Tiandao Holy Court have any eyesight? If they see the young master coming, they just don't welcome him. They even close the door. What do you mean? Lu Qingchen and others looked up and saw 4 or 5 figures in front of them, and the voice came from the mouth of the young man standing at the front. Seeing everyone looking at him, he became even more proud and continued to speak proudly. What are you looking at? Who is responsible for welcoming new students? Didn't you see someone coming? Lu Qingchen looked at Lei Xian and saw that the corners of Lei Xian's mouth were twitching. The young man saw that several people ignored him and pointed at Lu Qingchen, who was standing at the front. He said in a louder voice than before. It's you. Are you deaf? I'm asking you something. Didn't you see anyone coming? Lu Qingchen didn't know why there were still such arrogant people in college. At this moment, seeing this young man speaking condescendingly to him, an unknown fire rose in his heart. So he said coldly. Where did that thing come from that is screaming like crazy? Could it be that it can't control its mouth? Asshole, you dare to scold me, do you know who I am? At this moment, the young man's mouth was so angry that no one dared to speak to him like this. I don't care who you are, and watch your mouth, otherwise I don't mind teaching you a lesson you'll never forget. Lu Qingchen said indifferently. A cold light flashed in his eyes. Chapter 41 Magical Power. Dharma. Lu Qingchen has always been someone who doesn't offend others. Even so, there are always some blind people who come to provoke him. At this moment, when the young man heard Lu Qingchen's words, he couldn't help but tremble with anger. He pointed at Lu Qingchen and said in a trembling voice. You are looking for death. After saying that, he rushed up and wanted to punch Lu Qingchen. Lu Qingchen was already very depressed during this period, but his life in Qingchen was very peaceful. Besides, dragons are born to fight, and with the Golden Emperor Dragon spirit, he is so eager to fight. At this moment, the young man rushed forward, and Lu Qingchen's eyes flashed with golden light. He did not avoid the oncoming fist, but strode forward to meet it, also swinging out with his right fist. I saw golden soul power surging in his fist, and the soul power pressed against the air, making a crunching sound. The next moment, the two fists collided together, and everyone heard a click, and one of them's hand bones shattered. The young man screamed, and then Lu Qingchen punched the young man in the chest again. The young man flew out upside down and lay on the ground in a mess, spitting out a mouthful of blood. The 4 people around the young man obviously did not expect this outcome. At this moment, they saw that their young master was beaten to the point of dying. One of the middle-aged men couldn't help but said angrily. You little beast, you're looking for death. The middle-aged man rushed forward quickly, with an incredible trajectory, and a yellow light flashed in his hand. I saw yellow soul power condensed in my palms, and a pair of palms hit Lu Qingchen. Mountain-destroying palm. Lu Qingchen's eyes were solemn, and his martial soul instantly possessed him. In an instant, his arms became extremely thick, and his right hand turned into a red gold claw. The red gold claws struck out with red spiritual power. Lu Qingchen's expression was indifferent and cold. The next moment, the red gold sharp claws tore through the yellow light, taking the middle-aged man's palm with it. The man held his torn and bloody palm and flew backwards. Lu Qingchen was knocked back a few steps by the force of the palm. Several other middle-aged men saw that their companions were defeated by Lu Qingchen, so they rushed towards Lu Qingchen. Yushan subconsciously wanted to block Lu Qingchen, but he didn't wait for him to react. A delicate figure had already appeared in front of Lu Qingchen. This person is Lei Xian. Seeing Lei Xian standing in front of Lu Qingchen, the middle-aged men showed a cruel look on their faces, and all kinds of light surged around their bodies. Then several people used magical powers one after another, and several rays of light condensed together and finally turned into a huge earth-yellow palm. The huge mountain rock palm smacked towards Lei Xian, and a huge blue beast shadow suddenly appeared behind Lei Xian. Lu Qingchen and others took a closer look and saw that it was a lion with electric light all over its body. The male lion roared angrily, and the hair on its body was like a lightning rod, instantly piercing the huge rocky palm. The countless lightning needles did not stop because they penetrated the rocky palms, but shot directly at the middle-aged men. The next moment, the men groaned and fell to the ground, twitching all over. "Go back to where you came from, and don't even look at where this place is." Lei Xian looked at those people coldly and said. In fact, Lei Xian had already held back. At the last moment, he still withdrew some soul power, reducing the number of lightning needles by almost 90%, otherwise, those people would have been pierced by lightning needles. At this moment, Lu Qingchen's thick red gold claws had turned into human hands, but the claws on his entire right arm were broken. Su Man and Su Muting were stunned, not because of the terrifying thunder lion behind Lei Xian. It was because of the aura emanating from Lu Qingchen's martial soul after he was possessed. That aura made their bodies tremble continuously. At this moment, Wu Huan's advantage was revealed. Compared to the two women, Yushan obviously had nothing to do at this moment. I saw Lei Xian retracting the huge lion behind him, turned around and said, "Let's go, ignore these guys. If they dare to do something in the academy, law enforcement officers will naturally deal with it." That I saw a bright smile on his face, looked at Yushan and Lu Qingchen and said, "I'm really a little hungry. Let's go eat now." So Lei Xian took a few people to the cafeteria, not the big cafeteria, but the small cafeteria representing the core students. After arriving at the window, Lei Xian shouted inside, "Lao Zhang, please have 5 charcoal grilled dragon wings, 5 bowls of Zi-Ling rice and 1 Qing-Ling egg soup." That I saw a flash of light in Lei Xian's hand, and he took out many small stones and handed them to Lao Zhang. Section 36. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Qingchen and others quickly said, "Senior Lei Xian, before you took us to understand the environment of the college, it should be our treat." Lei Xian smiled and said, "What a big deal. Although I am very poor, I still have no problem treating my juniors and juniors to a meal. And I get discounts for eating here. It won't be too late to invite you back when you become core students, ha ha ha." Several people thought it made sense when they heard it, so they nodded. After all, both Yushan and Lu Qingchen were confident about becoming core students. Moreover, as a third-year core student of the outer courtyard of Tiandao Holy Academy, Lei Xian has such vicious eyes. Lu Qingchen was just possessed by a martial spirit, and he instantly knew that Lu Qingchen's martial spirit was not simple. Except for the top-level beast martial arts, which will undergo great changes in their bodies, the rest of the martial arts actually do not change much. Lei Xian remembered that only a few core students in the outer courtyard could transform an entire arm into a beast, and part of it was only achieved after using soul beads. The most important point is that the moment Lu Qingchen's martial spirit was released, he actually felt a faint sense of oppression. As a top beast martial spirit, he is also the king of beasts in the liger category among ferocious beasts. There are not many people in this academy who can give him a sense of oppression as soon as they release their martial soul. At this moment, there were no people in the cafeteria, which represented the core students, and it seemed relatively deserted. Several people sat down around a circular dining table. As soon as he sat down, Yushan asked curiously, "Senior Lei, what happened to the huge palms struck by those soul warriors just now?" Yes, and what about that huge lion that appeared behind you, Senior?" Su Man and Su Muting also asked excitedly. Lei Xian smiled slightly. "The huge palms of those soul warriors are a kind of magical power of the earth martial realm, and the lion behind me is my Dharma appearance." Speaking of this, Lei Xian's eyebrows were filled with pride. "Wait a minute, Senior Lei, what is the earth martial realm, and what is the Dharma?" Why can't I understand it at all? Except for Qingchen, the other three people all looked confused. Xiao Lei, your dinner is ready. Just as Lei Xian was about to explain, he suddenly heard Lao Zhang's voice and quickly got up to get dinner, and said to several people, eat first, let's chat while eating. Another person will help me carry the food. At this time, Yushan stood up first and quickly followed Lei Xian to get dinner. Lei Xian and Yushan were very fast. They only left for a minute and came back with several huge dinner plates. Qingchen and Su Muting's eyes widened when they saw the plates they brought. There were 5 huge roasted wings on the dinner plate. The roasted wings were almost as long as their arms. Chapter 42 Breakthrough, 4th Level of Awakening. This is roasted wings. Su Muting and Su Man's eyes widened, and they suddenly spoke in shock. Qingchen also swallowed, not because the grilled wings were very big. Just looking at the oily sheen on this grilled wing feels very tempting. I saw Yushan already holding a huge roasted wing and starting to chew it. Lei Xian was very satisfied with the two women's reactions and smiled proudly. Ha ha ha, these are the wings of a ferocious bird-like beast. We call it a flying dragon. The meat is extremely delicious. Furthermore, flying dragon meat contains spiritual energy. Eating it regularly is also very beneficial to your cultivation. Then these flying dragon wings must be very expensive, right? Su Man was a little worried. After all, Lei Xian treated them to dinner and bought 5 servings. Lei Xian waved his hand and picked up a roasted wing. Fortunately, ordinary academy students shouldn't be able to afford it, but there are very high discounts for core students. Besides, I'm in a good mood today, so it's okay to be extravagant. By the way, senior, what are those small stones you gave me when you checked out just now? Can they be used as money? Su Muting suddenly asked. Oh, that's the soul stone. You can use the soul stone to practice in daily practice. Most of the shopping and transactions in the academy use soul stones. Lei Xian explained while chewing on the huge flying dragon wings. Soul stone. I seem to have quite a few. Qingchen's eyes lit up. I still have a lot of soul stones on my body, but I don't know what they do, so he quickly asked. How do you use the soul stone when practicing? It's simple. When you absorb the soul power, just hold the soul stone in your hand and run it to practice the technique. Qingchen looked depressed. He didn't even know how to use such a simple method. The 3 boys were all chewing on the dragon wings, and their mouths were full of oil. Only 2 girls, Su Muting and Su Man, paid more attention to their appearance. They were too embarrassed to be like them and just ate in small bites. In just a short while, Yushan and Qingchen finished eating, followed by Lei Xian. Seeing that the 2 women had not eaten half of their food, Lei Xian said seriously. I said you 2 seniors, you don't have to be so polite when eating in the academy. Have you ever seen those seniors? Damn, my jaw almost dropped when I ate with them before. What is the most important thing in the academy? Cultivation is the most important. Time is a resource. If you eat like this, others will practice half an hour longer than you. But after all, she is a girl, so she can't let go. But after hearing what Lei Xian said, she imitated them and ate in a dignified manner. Lei Xian, Qingchen, and Yushan had mysterious smiles on their faces at this moment. Didn't you just ask me about the Earth Martial Realm and Dharma appearance? I will tell you now. Lei Xian took a sip of the purple spirit egg soup with a satisfied smile on his face. The Earth Martial Realm is also called the Divine Power Realm. It's just a name for the purpose of distinguishing the realms. You should all have awakened your martial soul by now. This realm is called the Awakening Realm, also known as the Spiritual Martial Realm Soul Warrior. After filling up the soul power of one's martial soul, one will gain a magical power from the martial soul. After comprehending the magical power, you will advance to the realm of magical power. At this stage, you can already start to cultivate yourself. At this moment, Lei Xian was talking endlessly about martial arts knowledge to Qingchen and others. A few people had only a little knowledge of martial arts, but this showed that someone was explaining and they all sounded attentive. If you want to advance to the next level after you reach the 9th level of Earth Martial Realm, I need to use my martial spirit as a guide and use the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to create my own dharma. which is the thunderous lion Dharma behind me. Before. After casting the Dharma, the power of using magical powers will be far greater than those in the magical realm. Lei Xian suddenly paused and cleared his throat. Having said this, I'm going to popularize it for you. Your current state is called the awakening state, and is generally called a spiritual level soul warrior. The magical power realm is also called the earth level soul warrior, and in Dharma terms, it is the heaven level. For the sake of convenience, we can also directly say Lingwu, Diwu, and Tianwu. This is the division of the martial arts realm in the early stage. As for the rest, you will know later. After saying so much in succession, Lei Xian's mouth felt a little dry and he quickly took a big sip of soup. After listening to this, Lu Qingchen and others all became thoughtful and digested the martial arts knowledge that Lei Xian just explained. Seeing that everyone was thinking, Lei Xian stood up, smiled, and said to them. Okay, you guys eat slowly, I'll go back to practice first. After he finished speaking, he left, leaving only Lu Qingchen and 4 others here. Su Muting and Su Man were still eating dragon wings, while Lu Qingchen and Yushan were sipping the soup. Lingwu, Diwu, Tianwu. After Tianwu, is it the realm of kings? Lu Qingchen couldn't help but start imagining when he thought of the thunder needles released by Lei Xian's thunderbolt lion Dharma. I don't know when I will be able to cultivate to the state of Dharma. Senior Lei Xian is only 2 grades older than us, but he already has such tyrannical strength. I wonder if I would have been so strong when I was in 3rd grade. I saw him shaking his head, and the sense of crisis in his heart became heavier. At this moment, Su Muting and Su Man had finished eating and wiped the corners of their mouths. Su Muting said with some surprise. The soul power contained in these flying dragon wings is too much. I feel like I have broken through a small realm. Lu Qingchen also felt deeply that after eating dinner, the soul power in his body increased a lot. Perhaps because of Lei Xian's words, everyone felt a sense of crisis at this time. Without further ado, he hurried back to the core area. Just after entering the house, Lu Qingchen immediately came to the training room. The ring flashed with light, and 2 soul stones appeared in his hands. Putting the 2 soul stones in the palm of his hand. According to the method mentioned by Lei Xian, the burning heaven cannon started to operate. Lu Qingchen only felt that the soul power in his body was rising sharply at this moment. Section 37. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After just a moment, the soul stone in his hand exhausted its power and turned into a pile of powder. Then he took out 2 more soul stones and continued practicing. I don't know how long it took, but Lu Qingchen's body suddenly shook, and he felt as if he had broken through a small realm. With a thought, I opened the information panel. Host, Lu Qingchen, Martial Spirits, Sun Golden Crow, Golden Emperor Dragon. Good Fortune Jade God Lotus, Realm, 4th level of Awakening Realm, Mental Power. Hao Yue Level 2, 33, Kung Fu, Burning Heaven Sacred Code, Emperor Dragon Immortal Body, Creation Jade Pure Heart Sutra, Supernatural Power, Not Activated, Fire, Dragon, Items, Donghuang Bell, Small Creation Pill *2, Burning Sky Divine Seed, Soul Seed, Star Refining Cauldron, Soul Stone *100. Looking at the information panel in front of him, Lu Qingchen slowly exhaled. He has reached the 4th level of the awakening realm. Tonight's ingredients and the cultivation of soul stones have raised him to a small level. Chapter 43 Unfair Martial Spirit. That I don't know how long it will take to reach the realm of kings. There is a long way to go. Lu Qingchen checked the storage ring and found that the top of the hill-like pile of soul stones was already partially vacant. Lu Qingchen calculated that this practice took about 4 or 5 hours and consumed about 200 soul stones. If he continues at this rate, if all his more than 20,000 soul stones are used for cultivation, he will be able to sustain himself for about a month. Lu Changting left 10,000 soul stones, and there were still 10,000 soul stones left during the system draw. Consume 200 pills according to your needs for 4 to 5 hours. Nearly 700 to 800 pills are consumed in a day, and this includes the usual time for eating and sleeping. Resources. Cultivation is indeed the most important resource. No wonder my father told me before he left that he must fight for what he has to fight for. Chen, brother Chen. Why did you have a firebird and a dragon hovering over you when you were practicing? Yushan's voice came to his ears. Lu Qingchen opened his eyes and found Yushan staring at him with wide eyes. A bird and a dragon on me? What do you mean? Lu Qingchen didn't understand what Yushan said. Yushan hurriedly explained. I just finished practicing and was about to wake you up, only to find that there was a dragon and a firebird hovering around you while you were practicing. Lu Qingchen didn't believe it, so he immediately started to use the technique again. Open your eyes and start to observe whether there is any condition on your body that Yushan mentioned. After waiting for a long time, I found that there was no such phenomenon, so I knocked Yushan on the head. Say. Are you kidding me? That I saw Yushan touching his head a little aggrievedly and hurriedly explaining. I really saw it, and when you were practicing, it was very hot around your body, about 2 meters around you. Lu Qingchen saw that Yushan was indeed sitting 2 meters away from him, so he nodded. This boy didn't look like he was joking. As for the status of my own cultivation, I will ask about it after meeting Han Meng. As long as it has no impact on my own cultivation, it will be fine, so he waved his hand to Yushan and said. It's okay, as long as it doesn't affect your practice. I'll go back and ask the master what's going on after the freshman trial. Yushan nodded seriously. He knew that Han Meng was the vice president of Tiandao Holy Academy and must be well informed. No longer worrying about these, the two of them walked out of the training room and went to the room on the second floor. Lu Qingchen found that Yushan's expression was a little strange. At this time, Su Man was sitting on the soft big bed, looking at the ceiling above his head in a daze, but Su Muting was not here. There was only a click sound, the door was pushed open, and Lu Qingchen and Yushan walked in. Su Man, who was in a daze, was startled when he saw Lu Qingchen and Yushan coming in, and said something out of nowhere. Are you here? Lu Qingchen smiled at her and asked. What are you thinking about? Why are you so stupid? Su Man blushed and whispered. No, I'm wondering if we can still live here after the freshman trial. She suddenly lowered her head in frustration. But I'm just a food-type martial soul with no fighting power. I definitely have no hope of entering the top 10. It turned out to be because of this. Lu Qingchen patted Yushan on the shoulder and said with a half-smile. What's the problem? When Yushan gets into the top 10, won't we have a place to stay? Ah. Is that okay? Su Man was a little surprised. He didn't expect Yushan to be so powerful. Okay, Brother Chen is right. Yushan scratched his hair and grinned. Yushan, before Uncle Yu left, he said that he wanted you to find a girlfriend in the college. I am here to help you. Don't betray my good intentions, Lu Qingchen muttered secretly in his heart. He glanced at the room and found that Su Muting was not there, so he asked. Why are you alone in the room? Where is Su Muting? Oh, she's... Before Su Man could finish speaking, Lu Qingchen heard a click sound and the door was pushed open again. Su Muting had just gone to take a shower and was about to come back to sleep. Unexpectedly, she found Yushan and Lu Qingchen in the room as soon as she entered the door. Then he happened to meet the eyes of the three people. Ah! Su Muting covered her face and screamed, then rushed to Su Man's bed and covered herself with a quilt. It was so embarrassing. At this moment, Su Muting was huddled in the quilt, wishing to find a crack in the ground to crawl in. Since she had just finished taking a shower, Su Muting came in wrapped in only a bath towel, and she didn't know that Lu Qingchen and Yushan were also in the room at the moment. Lu Qingchen and Yushan turned their heads silently, thinking in their hearts. I didn't see anything. The atmosphere was a little awkward. Su Man chuckled. Okay, she has a bath towel on her body, it's not like she's not wearing anything. Lu Qingchen's nose was bleeding, and when the three of them looked at each other, they felt their eyes were hot. They didn't expect that Wu Huan had this ability. I'm a serious person, but Wu Huan is not serious. Lu Qingchen shouted in his heart at this moment. I don't know if Lu Qingchen took it too seriously, and suddenly he felt that he had a little ability of the Golden Emperor Dragon, see through the illusion. An extremely powerful and precious pupil technique. In front of this pupil technique, all the covers will be seen through by Lu Qingchen, and he can even see objects behind the wall. Unexpectedly, a small episode actually made Lu Qingchen realize a magical power. At the moment when the three people and Su Muting looked at each other, Lu Qingchen only saw a white patch, then there was nothing. The two turned around silently. The Golden Emperor Dragon also has this ability? Lu Qingchen exclaimed, wow, no wonder the pair of dragon pupils always glow with gold. That I don't know if I will glow with gold like my martial soul when I use this ability. Fortunately, the person involved didn't know. Su Muting only saw a head sticking out of the quilt and asked awkwardly. Aren't you going to rest yet? It's late. Let's practice tomorrow. Since the two women haven't chosen to practice yet, they can only increase their soul power by eating pills and some natural treasures. Rest now, I'll go take a shower first. Lu Qingchen, who had just obtained a new ability, didn't have the mind to continue practicing. He just wanted to go to bed and rest early, by the way, study the new ability he just obtained. So he hurried to the bathroom. The bathroom was large, and there was a faint fragrance. Lu Qingchen thought of the scene just now. The white patch could not be erased from his mind. Turning on the shower, Lu Qingchen washed his body with cold water, forcing himself to calm down. With the cold water, Lu Qingchen quickly calmed down, so he began to think about the role of the three martial souls. Chapter 44 New Students Enrollment, from the awakening of martial soul cultivation to now. In addition to the martial soul possessing the body will change, Lu Qingchen has hardly discovered other functions. Section 38. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It was not until he broke through to the fourth level of the awakening realm that he had a little ability of the Golden Emperor Dragon. In addition, the blazing light released during the escape directly burned a soul warrior who was chasing him. Apart from this, there is no other magical power. In fact, ordinary soul warriors in the awakening realm will not awaken magical powers unless they practice combat skills. Only after filling up the martial soul and soul power can they comprehend magical powers, that is, practice to the 9th level of the awakening realm. There are very few people like Lu Qingchen who have comprehended magical powers at the 4th level of the awakening realm. Unless you have awakened the supreme martial soul, you may comprehend it in advance. This is the horror of the supreme martial soul, and this is also one of the reasons why it is invincible at the same level. When Lu Qingchen thought of this ability of his, he was a little speechless. Although it can see through all illusions, what the hell is perspective? But I like it. Because he just awakened this ability, Lu Qingchen can't control this ability well. I'll call you Golden Saint I. Yeah, that's the name. Lu Qingchen felt that he was quite talented in naming. After taking a shower, Lu Qingchen went back to his room wrapped in a bath towel. When he returned to the room, he saw the three people staring at him, and Lu Qingchen looked confused. Why are you all staring at me? Is there something dirty on my face? Several people shook their heads, and Su Man whispered. Nothing, go to bed. Lu Qingchen then realized that although the villa was quite large, it only had one bedroom, and there were 3 beds in the bedroom. The bed was not very big, it was a single bed, and it would definitely not work for Lu Qingchen and Yushan to sleep in the same bed. With Yushan's big body, he must have a bed, but Lu Qingchen didn't need it. But he couldn't sleep with a girl, so, the 2 girls could only sleep in one bed. Seeing Lu Qingchen lying down after taking a shower, Yushan hurried to the bathroom. Lu Qingchen was lying on the bed, staring at the ceiling, in a daze. It wasn't because he wanted to do this, but mainly because he had never slept in the same room with a girl since he was a child. This made Lu Qingchen, who thought he was pure, feel a little embarrassed. Su Muting poked her head out of the quilt, not knowing whether she saw something. She said to Lu Qingchen, who was staring at the ceiling in a daze. Lu Qingchen, Su Man and I will stay here for a few days, and we will move out after the new students enter the school. Su Man, who was lying next to him, looked at Su Muting with some resentment, indicating that she didn't want to move out. Lu Qingchen smiled at her. It's okay, I don't mind. It's a bit too quiet to live in such a big villa alone. You can decide whether you want to live in the dormitory or stay. In fact, Su Man and Su Muting really like this place, and there is also a practice room, which is definitely not available in the dormitory, but the two were afraid that living here for a long time would cause trouble to Lu Qingchen, so they thought about it for a long time before speaking. Seeing that Lu Qingchen didn't mind, and Su Man didn't want to leave here, Su Muting nodded gently, and then retracted her head into the quilt again, but no one saw that there was a little more crystal in Her eyes, Su Muting actually regretted saying such excessive words to Lu Qingchen in class that time. Why was it because Lu Qingchen was only in the second level of the tempering body realm at that time, or because of her momentary impulse? She didn't know why she made that decision, but every time she recalled the scene at that time, her heart was like a sharp knife cutting. She came to the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy because she felt that she owed Lu Qingchen and wanted to make up for it as much as possible. But she didn't expect that Lu Qingchen was silently helping them just after arriving at the academy. If it weren't for Lu Qingchen, they would probably have found a hotel outside the academy to live in. For some reason, Su Muting found that she couldn't see through Lu Qingchen more and more. Lu Qingchen didn't think much at this moment. Anyway, they were all classmates, so he would take care of them if he could. The three of them were lying on the bed, each thinking about their own thoughts. After a while, Yushan also came back after taking a shower. He threw himself on the bed. Compared with his burly body, the bed seemed extremely small. At this moment, he pressed it and it made a creaking sound. However, the beds of the three famous schools are the beds of the three famous schools. The quality is really not to be covered. Apart from making a little noise, there was no sign of collapse. Su Man, there are apples, give me one. Perhaps he was hungry after practicing for so long, Yushan said loudly to Su Man. Su Man silently took out an apple from the quilt and threw it to Yushan. After thinking for a long time, he took out another apple and handed it to Lu Qingchen. Lu Qingchen muttered with the apple. A soul warrior with a food-type martial soul is completely a walking cash cow. Looking at Yushan, who was eating an apple in big mouthfuls, Lu Qingchen also started to eat. There was no conversation all night. Soon it was the day for the new students to enter school, and the Tiandao Holy Academy began to gradually become lively. After having breakfast in the ordinary canteen in the morning, they went straight to the registration office. There was no one at the registration office, but the gate not far from the registration office was crowded with people. Lu Qingchen and his friends hurried over. Lei Xian was very busy at this time because many new students came to register. Li Si, freshman dormitory building 101, go to the dormitory and to get the key. Wang Wu, freshman dormitory building 102, go get the key yourself. Lei Xian calmly registered information for each new student, while several second-year students were nearby to maintain order. You guys are here. Seeing Lu Qingchen and others arriving, Lei Xian smiled and said hello. Let me arrange dormitories for these two schoolgirls first. Lei Xian ignored the others and said directly. Su Muting, Su Man, you two can stay at 501. Get the keys later, and then go to the payment office to pay the registration fee. As for Xiao Lu, you are in building 1 in the core area. Just go and talk to the dormitory auntie later. Lu Qingchen nodded. Yushan, yours should be in. Let me take a look. You should be in building 4 in the core area. You two should go get the keys together first. Lu Qingchen asked at this time. Senior Lei, can we bring people into the residence in the core area? Lei Xian was stunned by Lu Qingchen's question, then glanced at Su Muting and Su Man next to him, and understood instantly, so he smiled maliciously and said. It's okay, but you have to be moderate and don't delay your cultivation. Before he finished speaking, someone in the crowd suddenly shouted. When will it be our turn? It's not fair. Why can someone jump in the queue and register in advance? Chapter 45 Whoever has the bigger fist is the right one. I in the crowd, a young man with a strong build, small eyes, but a sense of superiority on his face shouted loudly to the reporting office. Lei Xian frowned, but still explained nicely. I'm sorry, those students just came here a few days ago, so I'll register them first, and now move on to the next one. How many days in advance can you jump in line? Is this a rule of the academy or do you make your own rules because you know each other? The young man with a face full of superiority said reluctantly. Lei Xian narrowed his eyes slightly, looked past the crowd, stared at the young man with sinister eyebrows and asked loudly. You seem to be very superior. I wonder if it would be convenient for you to tell me your national ranking in this martial arts exam. The young man was stunned for a moment, and then smiled proudly, with unconcealable pride in his eyes. Then listen carefully, I am ranked 1999th in this national martial arts examination. What, do you want to change the subject? That I saw an expression on Lei Xian's face that looked like a smile but not a smile. Number 1999 in the national martial arts examination. That's really good. His voice suddenly changed, he pointed at Lu Qingchen next to him and said calmly. Do you know why I give him priority? His name is Lu Qingchen. He is the top one in the national martial arts examination this time. He should enjoy these privileges. Suddenly, the crowd around him seemed to explode and started talking one after another. Section 39. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The man with a sense of superiority suddenly changed his expression, but for the sake of face he still forcefully defended. So what if he is number one in the country? Can he jump in the queue at will? Is there such a rule in the academy? Seeing that he still refused to give up, Lei Xian's face suddenly turned cold at this moment. The number one in the country means you get this treatment. This is my rule. If you don't accept it, you can report it to the college and ask the college to punish me. Let's see if you have this ability. Now go and line up obediently. If you stop me again, believe it or not, I will play with you myself. Ha! Lei Xian snorted coldly, his momentum exploded instantly, and the crowd fell silent instantly. The man quickly returned to the back of the team dejectedly, saying unconvincedly. I will report it to the academy after I enter the academy. Just wait to be punished. Lei Xian didn't pay attention to his threat, but shouted loudly to the crowd below. Now those who think they are ranked high can come forward and register in advance without queuing. I set the rules here. If you don't agree with them, you can file a lawsuit against me at any time after you enter the academy. Seeing Lei Xian's tough attitude, no one dared to speak anymore, so they all lined up quietly to wait for registration. Lu Qingchen did not bother Lei Xian to deal with the matter anymore, but simply expressed his apology. Senior Lei, I'm sorry to embarrass you. It's okay, this kind of thing happens every time, don't pay attention to it, you will know later. Whoever has the biggest fist in the academy is the right one. Lei Xian patted Lu Qingchen's shoulder, smiled and said. You go to the dormitory and to get the keys first. After I finish handling the matter, I will come and have a chat with you. Lu Qingchen stopped worrying and took Yushan and others to the dormitory. But before leaving, I heard what Lei Xian was saying. Murong Qingchen, ranked third in the national martial arts exam. Okay, you can go to the second building of the first grade in the core area, the dormitory aunt will tell you. The four of them walked to where the dormitory aunt was and knocked politely on the door. Come in. Within a few seconds, a middle-aged woman who had her head buried in something to write on the table responded. Lu Qingchen and others hurriedly walked in. The middle-aged woman saw their young faces, but did not see their luggage, so he asked with some hesitation. Is it the freshman report? A few people nodded, of course, otherwise who would come here? Su Man said sweetly. Auntie, we are all freshmen. We are here to get the keys to our dormitory. Mine is dormitory 501. The middle-aged woman searched for a long time on the table, then took out a key and handed it to Su Man, saying softly. Little girl, you have taken this key. If you accidentally lose it, just come back to Auntie to get a new one. Perhaps because she saw that Su Man was petite and cute, this woman spoke very softly. Thank you, Auntie. Su Man responded sweetly, then took out an apple and handed it to the woman. She smiled even happier, and the voices of Lu Qingchen and Yushan became much softer. Two classmates, what dormitory number are you in? Yushan touched his head and said with a simple smile. Auntie, I'm in the first-year building, number 4, in the core area, and he's in building number 1. What did you say? Core area? The woman looked at Yushan's honest smile and said with some disbelief. Yes, Auntie, we are in buildings 1 and 4 in the core area. I have obtained the key to building number 1 and would like to report to you. The woman's eyes changed when she looked at Yushan and Lu Qingchen, and she quickly said politely. Yes, I can tell you two are not ordinary students as soon as I see you. The keys to the core area are all hung on the door. You can register here and just go and get them later. The two of them quickly registered in the register, and the middle-aged woman looked at them as if they were seeing rare treasures. Goodbye, Aunt. After registering, several people said hello to the middle-aged woman and hurried to their residences. Arriving in front of the dormitory building, Qingchen asked the two women. Are you going to live in the dormitory or live with us? The two women thought about it and hesitated. We want to stay in the dormitory for a few days to see how it goes, and we can decide later. Okay, let's go now, see you later. Qingchen waved to them, and then took Qingchen to the core area. Qingchen was a little surprised and asked Qingchen. Brother Chen, why don't you ask them to live here? How good is the cultivation environment here? Qingchen rolled his eyes at Qingchen and said mysteriously. They will come over after staying in the dormitory for a few days. Qingchen looked suspicious, and without thinking any more, the two of them arrived at the core area. I found building 4, turned the door lock, walked in and saw that the layout was similar to that of building 1, the two of them walked into the training room immediately. Qingchen felt it and found that the spiritual power of heaven and earth here did not seem to be as strong as that in building 1, however, the difference is not very big. If Qingchen's martial spirit was not very sensitive to the spiritual power of heaven and earth, he would not be able to tell the difference for a while. After observing him twice, he patted Qingchen on the shoulder and said sincerely. Let's live in building number 1 first. The spiritual energy in the training room there is richer. Let's try to improve one more small realm before the freshman trial. Chapter 46 It's coming. Since the freshmen have 3 days to enter school, Qingchen and Qingchen have been practicing in the training room these days. As the soul stones were absorbed one by one, Qingchen clearly felt that the soul power in his body was rising steadily. The two of them kept practicing in the training room until the morning of the 3rd day. A strange fluctuation emanated from Qingchen, who was sitting cross-legged. The burning heaven sacred scripture was running wildly, and dozens of soul stones in his hand turned into powder in an instant. A strong breath emanated from Qingchen, followed by a surge of red soul power. After a while, the breath gradually subsided, and then gradually condensed. Qingchen withdrew from the training state and couldn't help but let out a long breath. In just 3 days, he broke through another realm. Now he has reached the 5th level of the awakening realm. Feeling that something seemed to have been added to his body, Qingchen was just about to study whether he had gained new abilities. The next moment, a heavy breath emanated, and Qingchen's golden soul power surged, until he slowly calmed down. Qingchen grinned at Qingchen. Brother Chen, I have broken through to the 3rd level of awakening realm. Well, I know, I'm already at the 5th level. You are a little slow in cultivation. Qingchen patted Qingchen's shoulder and said earnestly. Before Qingchen had time to experience the joy of breaking through the realm, he was poured with cold water. He stared at Qingchen for a long time before he uttered a word. Awesome. After not going out for 2 days, the two decided to go out for a walk. Walking out of the comfortable villa, the two walked side by side on the tree-lined path of the college. The students were already walking in groups of 2 or 3, and there were also many who were alone, but most of the students walked very fast. The two came to the tall cafeteria. There were many people in the cafeteria, most of them were freshmen. Qingchen and Qingchen were just about to get food when they heard a familiar voice. Qingchen, Qingchen, here. Su Man and Su Muting were sitting at a table and waving at them. At this time, many people in the cafeteria heard the voices of Su Muting and Su Man, and turned to look at Qingchen. They were not paying attention to the two girls, but the name Qingchen, maybe it was because Lei Xian had heard it before at the freshman registration office, or maybe it was because many people paid attention to the ranking list of the National Martial Arts exam. A flat-headed boy walked up and asked Qingchen. Are you the first in the National Martial Arts exam? Seeing that the man had no ill intentions, Qingchen nodded. Section 40. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The flat-headed man smiled heartily and said loudly. My name is Zheng Yu. I'm ranked 21st in the National Martial Arts exam, but I'm not satisfied with this ranking. I will challenge you in the freshman trial. No problem, I'm waiting for your challenge. Qingchen nodded. he was worried that he had no one to practice with after breaking through to the 5th level of the awakening realm, and he was eager to try. Seeing that Qingchen agreed so readily, the freshman named Xingyu waved to him and left. After the meal was ready, the two came to the table where Su Muting and Su Man were. The food here is not very expensive, and the price is about the same as what Qingchen had eaten in Qingchen before, but it's just the most ordinary food. Seeing the two sitting down at the table, Su Man asked excitedly, "Do you know about the freshman trial?" The two shook their heads. They have been practicing for the past 2 days and have not gone out, so of course they don't know. I heard that the top 10 freshman trials can directly enter the core area to live, and there will be many rich rewards. Su Muting said with envy. Yes, I heard that the top 10 freshmen can enter a mysterious place to practice for a few days, and will be rewarded with various elixirs, magic weapons and other resources. Mysterious place? Could it be the place where the inner courtyard students are? Qingchen's thoughts were fast, and he immediately thought of what Lu Yen said before. What about the content of the freshman trial? How is the trial method? He asked with some curiosity. Su Man whispered. We are not very clear, but we just heard that 10 freshmen will be directly selected from 1,000 freshmen, but no one knows the specific selection method. Listening to your words is like listening to your words. Qingchen held his forehead and said that he was speechless. After lunch, the four of them walked around the huge college for a while, and then returned to their dormitories. Qingchen was about to open the door, and suddenly felt someone patting his back. Turning back, he found that it was a very cute girl. This girl has very smart big eyes, and the strange thing is that her hair is not black, but a green color that gives people a sense of vitality. The girl asked curiously. Are you Qingchen? Qingchen smiled and nodded to the cute girl, then asked. Who are you? Do you have something to talk to me about? The cute girl did not answer Qingchen's words, but flashed her bright eyes, made a face at Qingchen, and left in a hurry. You will know later. The girl left this sentence before leaving. Yushan looked at Qingchen with a confused face, as if to say, Brother Chen, when did you meet a new girl again? Qingchen shook his head helplessly, and he should be low-key. Ignoring these messy things, after entering the villa, both of them went straight to the practice room. Except for going out to eat something casually at night, the rest of the time was spent on practice. No words all night. The time in practice seemed to pass faster. When Qingchen opened his eyes, it was already dawn. Both of them finished their practice, because the freshman entrance ceremony was held today, and it was heard that the freshman trial would be held immediately after the entrance ceremony. Whether the two can continue to live in this villa depends on the results of today's trial. After washing up casually, the two came to the cafeteria. There are a lot of people in the cafeteria today, but Qingchen found that most of them are senior students, and there are very few freshmen. Woo! A loud but urgent horn sounded, and the cafeteria became lively in an instant. The freshman entrance ceremony has begun. Go to the playground. Let's go, and watch the excitement. Wait for me. I saw that those senior students didn't even eat, and they all went to the playground with their arms around each other. Qingchen saw that they all left the cafeteria, and hurriedly pulled Yushan out of the cafeteria. On the way to the playground, Qingchen saw countless students walking towards the playground. There are definitely more than freshmen among so many people. Why did so many senior students come to the entrance ceremony? It seems that this entrance ceremony must be very complicated. Qingchen thought to himself, but his speed was not slow at all. The two of them followed the senior students in front of them and headed straight for the playground of Tiandao Xingyuan. Chapter 47 The Arrival of the Big Man. Soon, Qingchen and Yushan arrived at the playground. The playground of the academy is very large. It is not like the playground of the school where Qingchen lived in his previous life, which only has a 400-meter runway. The playground of Tiandao Xingyuan also has a runway, but it is several laps larger. It is roughly estimated to be more than 3,000 meters. At this moment, many students were full of excitement on their faces and rushed into the playground. Qingchen glanced around and found that there should be more than 3,000 students. According to the calculation that there are only 1,000 students in each grade, 3/4 of the students came. Of course, many instructors and leaders were also counted. 3,000 people seem a lot, but on the playground of the entire Tiandao Xingyuan, they are somewhat inconspicuous, the situation at this moment is a bit funny. Lu Qingchen and many freshmen stand together to form a huge square. Beside this square, there were many senior students watching with smiles, and there were also quite a few people sitting in the audience seats. At this moment, the freshmen were like monkeys in a zoo, surrounded by many people. A sense of shame slowly rose from everyone's heart. At this moment, most of the 3rd and 4th grade college and Tiandao Holy Academy instructors were in the audience. If Lu Qingchen looked carefully, he would find that Lei Xian was also in the audience. He was chatting with several students next to him very enthusiastically, and he showed a mysterious smile from time to time. It's not easy. After waiting for so long, we finally got to the freshman entrance ceremony. One of them sighed. Yeah, I remember that we were all watched like monkeys 2 years ago, and this time it's finally their turn. A new generation replaces the old, he. This time we can finally have fun, he. I heard that there are many good seedlings this time. After the freshman trial, the bigwigs of the academy will come to recruit disciples in a while. I'm so envious. If I'm lucky enough to be accepted as a close disciple by a bigwig, it's really a blessing that I've cultivated for 100 years. There was a man in the audience who was full of hope. That's nothing. If I can be accepted as a disciple by those 2 stunning women, it's a blessing that I've cultivated for 8 lifetimes. He. Shut up, that I heard Lei Xian and others muttering in secret, and the more they talked, the more outrageous they were. A female instructor next to them frowned slightly. You are really brave. If the college's top leaders hear it, you will be in trouble. That the few people then remembered the torturous training methods of the college's top leaders, and their bodies couldn't help but tremble, so they all chose to keep silent. The male tutors nearby were listening with great interest, but seeing Lei Xian and the others were silent, they hurriedly said. Keep talking, the leaders are all practicing in the inner courtyard, and they won't come to watch the freshman entrance ceremony, I promise. Seeing the support and acquiescence of several male tutors, Lei Xian and several other senior college students started again. The male tutors also discussed the topic this time. I heard that there are people from the holy city of life among the students this time. Have you heard about it? I don't know. I only know that the vice president and the dean are rumored to be ready to accept disciples. I don't know which dean it is. The freshmen are so lucky this time. If they are favored by one of those 2, it would be really. Other things are fine. If they are accepted as disciples by that great dean, that would be, ha. Don't tell me, I heard that many college leaders like those 2 goddesses. Who doesn't like them? They are young, beautiful, and have high cultivation. I had the honor of seeing them once before. Their figures, TSK. Lei Xian and several male mentors were talking about their own experiences at this moment, and they were getting more and more excited. Oh. Really? That just as everyone was getting more and more excited, a cold voice sounded. 3 people walked out of the void. The woman in the lead was extremely beautiful. Her pair of ice blue eyes seemed to reflect the sun, moon, and stars.